Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be setting up my 2023 bullet journal. This is again an A5 journal from Archer and Olive. This one is, I think it's Time for Tea or something. It has like a little vase with flowers or plants coming out of it with gold foil, and it's green. And as usual, I like to make my setup pages and my first month, January in this case, match the color of the journal that I'm using. So for this video, I am using the 158, this earthy green from Tombow. I'm also going to be using an Archer and Olive calligraph in a, I don't know, brownish gray, grayish brown, beige color. And I'm going to be using a gold jelly roll by Sakura. And then for all of the sketching in, I did use the mechanical pencil that came in the latest Archer and Olive subscription box. I did an unboxing video for that and posted it a few days ago. If you haven't had a chance to watch that, it is an awesome box. Highly recommend that particular subscription box if it ever comes up in like a re-release or something. And then for all of the fonts and headers and everything, I used a Tombow the Tombow felt tip pen, the Fudanesque. So for the theme for this, I went with these like just branches of leaves, just very basic, simple shapes. I kind of doodled them all over the right-hand page here, colored them in, and then outlined them. And I used the Tombow Fudanesque felt tip pen for the outline. It gave it a much thicker, blacker line, which made it look more like an illustration or almost like a tattoo outline might look, and I was really happy with the way it turned out. I didn't really feel super inspired. I love the color green. Earth tones are my favorite, but when it's winter time and it's the start of a new year, it's just not a palette that I gravitate to in this time of the year. So in the end, I literally just was like, I'm just gonna do leaves because there's a little potted plant with like florals coming out of it on the cover. I can do it. It's really easy. Just go ahead and get that done. Doodling on this, not including sketching in time or like erasing time or anything, was about 20 minutes just for this cover. But you can see where this would work as a cover page for any monthly setup on a dot grid. You can incorporate these doodles basically anywhere in a setup. So very versatile if it's something you wanted to use as a theme in your own journal. And then like for the headers, like I said, I do the Tombow Fudanesque for that. And to give it a little bit more visual interest than just a stark black writing, I did go with that calligraph pen and wrote my name out first. So there's like a shadow behind the black. And then I will add the gold accents, like dots here and there, lines on the leaves, which unintended, but really happy with it. There is this effect with this particular green and the gold jelly roll that you cannot see the gold when you're looking directly at the doodle. But when you turn the book, like turn the page a little bit and the light hits it from an angle, like the gold just lights up, pure glitter, and it's like a hidden design. So I absolutely love how that turned out, and I carry that through since I used the same color palette in January. So stay tuned. That video should be coming out in a few days. So yeah, just added some sparkles. Ever since, I don't know, probably November, I've been really into just these little sparkles around the page to add some pops of color and to make the page feel more filled in when there's those empty spaces, particularly with something like this where there were a lot of like gaps and things weren't exactly even. which I don't mind, but this just kind of filled it in and made it look more complete. So moving on to the first page in the journal, I am setting up my word of the year spread, and what I do for that is I just put the word and I put the definition, and this word becomes my mission of the year. So for 2022, I did healing, and I feel really good about how that went. In most areas of my life, I still need to work on physically, like getting back into exercising and all that stuff. But for 2023, I decided to go with the word embrace. The definition being accept or support, as in a belief, theory, or change, willingly and enthusiastically. So that word kind of spoke to me, and I am just wanting to focus in 2023 on embracing things, embracing my feelings, embracing my letdowns, things like that, just embracing and accepting them. But with that, this page took about 6 minutes to set up. Not very difficult. I did go in with this big empty space and add a couple of doodles, which you'll see me do, and I apologize for my voice today. I went to the gym and I did a spin class, and it took a toll on my lungs. It was a good cardio workout. It's one of my favorite forms of exercise. But yeah, I'm struggling a little bit to get my breath on the deeper inhales, like recording a voiceover. Question for you guys: if you're doing a word of the year, what word of the year are you gravitating towards for 2023? And quick note here, I do not make you guys watch me fill in all these little calendars. I'm just going to show you how I highlight the alternating months, and then I use the Tombow Food and Escape to write the months in and the little calendars, and I love how that turned out. Moving on to what I'm calling the booklet. I did a little bit of pre-work, again, just because I felt like it would be so boring for you guys to sit and watch me do the same thing over and over. But I cut out these little tabs. They are 5 boxes wide and 5 boxes tall and 1 box wide. And so they alternate down. So I cut out these little Dutch doors with these little tabs, and then I colored with the gold glitter gel pen the first row of boxes and the little tabs of each one, so it's kind of like a little border, and that way I only have to do the decorations on the 2 edges and then leave all the middle space, and you can kind of see the pretty decoration no matter what page you're on. And this is where you can really see the hidden design element is on these 2 pages, because I started coloring in with the gold, realized it's not really showing up on camera, but yeah, you'll see it in the final flip through as the light hits it, like the pattern and the little stars and stuff. So it's just really neat to look at, like, in person. So recommend, if you haven't come up with an idea, try that out. A darker Tombow with a gel pen over it, and then like see how the light catches it. And then because these bars were already green, I just drew the outline of the branches in those areas, just to kind of give it like almost looks like a washi tape border. But this main page is about my goals. Not a lot of decoration going on aside from these 2 sidebars. I'm just gonna fill in, write in what my goals are, highlight the headers. That's about it. And then on the right hand side, I'll write down actionable goals, like actionable things I can do to work towards those goals. So for health in 2023, I want to run a 5K. I used to do that quite often. Like that was my normal run, was about 3 to 3.5 miles. Run 100 miles total for the year. Start taking some better vitamins, things like that. Finances, I want to pay off half my car. I'm almost done paying it off. And the goal for 2023 is to eliminate half of that, pay off all my credit cards. I don't have too much on those, so that should be pretty easy. And then I have a lot of parenting and relationship goals this year. My daughter just turned 10, literally yesterday as I'm recording this. And I want to start teaching her, different skills that she's going to need. I think she's old enough and mature enough to learn like some basic meals, how to cook for herself, responsibility with money, things like that. So that's going to be a big goal for me in 2023 as well. And I do want to apologize as well for the camera angle. Since I moved my desk back into our bedroom, it's aligned differently and I can't record from my desk. So I'm back at the kitchen table next to the big sliding glass doors that let in all the natural light that you're getting to benefit from here. But that means that my camera setup is like being removed and put back and removed and put back, and it's just not always in the same space. And in this case, it was further than I realized in one direction. Anyway, you don't care about all that. But that's why some of the video is cut off, because positioning the book was very, I had to keep repositioning it because as I was working on it, the camera was like slowly shifting out of view, if that makes sense. If you have any recommendations for like a more stable tripod or something that isn't going to have like visible hardware beneath it, then I am open to some suggestions, because this is a headache to deal with, but worth it in the end. This is my workout log and weight tracker. So for this, I have a box there for each day from January through June, and the way that I did it is in weeks. So weeks 1 through 26 going down, Monday through Sunday going across, and then a key code for different types of exercises that I do regularly: spin, run, strength training, and yoga. And then I have an icon there for other, and what I'll do is I'll write the date down and what type of exercise it was. So if I, for example, go on a really big hike, I would put a hike in there and do it other, because it doesn't fall into one of those other categories. And then the quote I chose for the weight tracker is: discomfort is just a sign that you are growing into your potential. I didn't really find that online. I just thought of it. I'm sure somebody else said it. I just don't know who to give credit to. And then I'm writing every Friday. So I'll weigh myself every Friday to track my weight, and I'll write it in there on the right-hand side next to each of those dates. And so those are every Friday from December 30th, because I didn't want to wait until January 6th. So I'll get like that baseline number on the 30th, and then I actually did 27 because of that. So there's 27 lines here. Again, with a big empty space, and I'm not going to need to fill it with anything. I just decided to throw another doodle in there, and so it wasn't sketched out or anything. It was just added as an afterthought. So another thing that I love about these little sparkles, these little stars, whatever you want to call them, when you start adding them to the page, you just kind of go into like a meditative state where you're just like doodling them around, and it's nice. So it's a fun way to do that. And then tying this page together, I think, is this little grayish brown highlight, just adding some more visual interest on the page. This page is quickly becoming one of my favorites now that I've filled it in. I'm not going to fill it in for you guys because it's literally just me listing out all of my meals that I have recipes for and have made and like, divided into categories like chicken, pork, beef, and seafood. And I will post a picture of that finished thing on Instagram if you wanted to go check that out. I am on Instagram at xjournalsx, I think. I don't even know. That's how often I use it. Sorry, guys. I'm just not, I definitely use Facebook a lot more, but I don't have like a Bujo page on there. The next spread is a build tracker, a debt tracker, and a bill tracker. So again, each of those boxes, they're 2 boxes wide by 1 box tall. It represents $100 that I still owe on one of those things. So as I pay off my car and pay off my credit cards, for every $100 I pay, I will fill in one of those boxes until the debt is 0. Again, for 2023, I'm only hoping to pay off half of my car. This represents the entire debt, so I don't intend to have this thing fully filled in. I just want a visual progress, if that makes sense, of the whole amount, which is why I included it, even though I'm not intending on filling all of them in this journal. And then the bills tracker is just all my regular monthly bills, so I can track how much each of them were each month. These are the things that fluctuate, so things like my mortgage aren't on there. But things like the cell phone bill is, power bill, water bill, gas bill, all those things. And for these smaller things, I do go in with, as you can see here, my Sharpie S gel pen in .38. It is my favorite regular pen to use in my journal, to the point that I go through them about once every couple of months, I guess. I use them quite a lot, actually. And with me being very heavy-handed, like to the point that even Archer and Olive paper, when I draw a calendar in, I can feel ridging on the other side. That's how heavy-handed I am. A ballpoint pen, like a Sharpie S gel pen, absolutely necessary. I spent so much money on like felt tip pens and crushed them within like a week and just kept buying more. And then Cindy Gunter-Baldo, in one of her lives, I said something about it and she suggested like a ball tip, like a Sharpie S gel pen or like an Inkjoy. And I like the Sharpie S gel pen just because they come in smaller nib sizes. The Inkjoys are 0.7, which in an A5 just feels too chunky for me because I write very small. In a B5 it's not such a big deal because you have a lot more space to work with. But yeah. And the next page, which is the second to last page I'm doing today, is a gratitude log. Again, every Friday's date. When I check in with my weight, I will also write down something I'm grateful for. And it's just each Friday's date listed in, and then I'll highlight the first line, so I'll have 2 lines that I can write things down on. Again, I do want to hear from you guys. This is more pages than I usually include in a new bullet journal setup, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to use them all and enjoy them and benefit from them. Are there any pages that I didn't include in this setup that you include in yours? Or are there any in this setup that you weren't previously including and now you're thinking you might want to do that? Let me know in the comments. Also, please like this video. If you want to see more content from me, let me know what you liked best about this setup, and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't release a ton of videos. I definitely keep everything bullet journaling related. I have one Archer and Olive unboxing video, and everything else on my entire channel is bullet journal setups. So nothing crazy going on. I only post once or twice a month. so you're not going to get like inundated with daily videos or anything like that. But definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And after these doodles here, which I really like how they turned out, it's very peaceful to look at, we're going to move on to the final spread, which is a 100 things to do spread. Again, I'm just going to fill in the boxes because I'm not going to make you guys watch me list out all the things I want to do in 2023. Yeah, it's just 100 boxes and I fill them in. I've already started filling them in as I'm recording this voiceover, but I think I only have like 58, 59 or something like that out of the 100 thus far. So yeah, just not something I wanted to make you guys watch or felt like filming. You know, I wanted to be able to just kind of relax and sit back and think about what I wanted to put on those, on that list. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and let the video continue, and the final flip through is coming up here in about a minute and a half. If you watched the video this far, I definitely appreciate you, and I will see you in just a few days for my January setup using the same color palette but in a different way.